Welcome back, YouTube. CT's Racing JA YouTube channel, Kingston, Jamaica. Just want to show a little video of the C4 Corvette. From the last time I did a recording, this car's been sitting for about a month. Last video on this car was about adding the roll cage, bars to the roll cage, doing electrical wiring on it, putting fuse and relay box, which I got all done, all completed. Everything came out pretty good. Put aluminum dash in it and put a little cosmetic work to it. Put a little covering over it to try to make it look close to factory as possible. But it's aluminum dash. Came out pretty good. Everything came out good. The roll cage, I didn't finish it because I didn't put the sidebars in, which will go from here down to here. And the reason why was waiting for the swing out bar kit from S&W Race Cars, and we have them now. They finally came in, so I could go ahead and finish up the cage. But this is a S&W roll cage, and I had to add the hoop on it and the down bars and the side bars for the class that we were running. And came out pretty good. I'm happy with it. I have a subscriber that also have a C4 Corvette that he did the same thing. He had an S&W race car roll cage, roll bar hoop, and he had to add bars onto it, but he didn't. He went a different route. He took his bars out completely and redid the whole setup. Had bars bent. But here, for me, being here in Jamaica, I couldn't go that route, because we have to spend a lot of money. When we buy these parts, we end up spending 3 to 4 times more on these parts than if you buy them in the States. So I had to make do with everything. So the issue was having was the height. The bar was too low and everything. So what I did, I kind of have my bar angled up. It's not level. It goes up at an angle, which came out pretty good. It fits the roof line of the car. It's tied up on the roof line of the car. And I'm happy with it. It's a little tight with the helmet. You have a little room. It's not touching, but you don't have much room with the helmet to move around as much, but we could work with it. So I was very happy about that. Was getting the car all prepared for the race that week, and we was going to the race on a Friday. It was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday race, and I was here Thursday night finishing up the car, checking the motor, checking the timing on the motor, and had a catastrophic failure. The motor locked up. This is the motor here. It's a small block Chevy, 421 cubic inch. And it ended up spinning this, the number 1 bearing, main bearing. And it actually spun the bearing, and the bearing ended up on top of the other bearing and locked the motor up. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. First time seeing it happen. And everything else looks good. All the other journals are perfect, beautiful. Perfect. So the issue was with the number 1. The issue was number 1 bearing spun and burnt. And learning what I'm learning now with the Pro Charger is that the Pro Charger put a lot of stress on that number 1 bearing journal because it's trying to pull the crank towards the Pro Charger. So there's a lot of load on the snout area of the crank. And I feel kind of bad about it because I could have caught it. One time I had an issue. I noticed a low oil pressure and I end up pulling the caps to check the caps, and everything looked good. I only pulled like maybe 2 or 3 caps. I think I pulled these 2. They looked good. I pulled maybe 1 or 2 rod bearings. Everything looked beautiful, brand new, and I just call it good. Call it maybe just a bad oil pressure gauge. Put it back together. I didn't think, what I know now. I would have checked the number 1, which would have been the main pressure point with the supercharger, but I overlooked it, and it ended up coming back, bite me in the butt. So yeah, so that's it right there. 421. It's a dart. The dart block. It's not the little M block, the other block. I forgot what you call it. Yeah. So now the plan now is big block. So this is the mock-up. This is the mock-up motor right here that we put in. There's nothing in it. Empty, just it's a tall dead block, big block. And I put some steel heads I have to mock it up, intake and everything. It fits good, fits on the mount good. And got a bunch of pipes. And I had to figure out how to make a set of headers for it. A bunch of pipes right there. The transmission came out of it. It's a JW Ultra Glide. Yeah. This is the intake, the heads, which are AFRs. I think the AFR is 220. The pistons, thick eagle rods, flat top diamonds. Yeah. And the rest of the goodies, the Pro Charger, D1X. Yeah, and that was the throttle body was running with a 5-tick throttle body. Yeah, so yeah, bunch of parts laying everywhere. So the plan is for the rest of the year, we'll be running a big block. It's gonna be a 632 with a fogger. So this car's gonna be an all nitrous car. Won't be on boost anymore. It'll be all nitrous. So it'll have a single fogger. Yeah. So I'm gonna end up taking the whole fuel system out, the regulator for the fuel injection regulator out, all the lines, and replacing everything for the carburetor. It's gonna have a single carburetor on it, Dominator. Yeah, so yeah, a little setback, kind of little disappointment, but I was really looking forward to that last race. We're looking for a PB. The best we've been with this car so far with the small block, and the Pro Charger was at 8.6 at 158. The mile an hour was kind of down, but it probably was from that bearing. The motor wasn't happy. Motor wasn't happy at all. So yeah, so we at with it. So now I'm just gonna finish up the cage, put the sidebar in it, and get that done. I have to right now I'm gonna take off these front wheels because the Malibu is up. We're gonna start running my Malibu, the Malibu with the LS motor and the turbo. We have a no prep event coming next weekend, so I want to enter it into that, but I'm going to be testing this weekend in Malibu. And I'm going to use these front tires. The tires on it now The car was sitting for some years and the tires are dry rotted. So when I put these, I don't feel safe with those dry rotted tires. When I put these tires on the front of the Malibu. And yeah, so that's the deal with this Corvette, guys. Probably saw a lot of the subscribers wondering about it because when I made that video, I made, inform everybody I was getting ready for the race, that no prep race, and it's been a while, so that's what happened. Catastrophic failure with the small block. Yeah. So yeah, I got my hands full. Got a lot of work to do after this race, because I've been really focused on the Malibu, getting it ready for the next no prep race, and spend a lot of time on it. Just to put a brand new parachute on this car too. Everything's brand new, parachute brand new. Haven't even pulled it yet. Kind of dusty. So I think I'm gonna cover it up, put a bag over it, wrap it up, and try to preserve it a little bit. But yeah. So I like to, post as much video on this car as possible. It seems like there's a little following on a C4 Corvette, and you don't see a lot of information online about the C4. So I try to pass along as much info as possible, and I try to learn and get as much information as possible on the C4, because this is first time working with this platform, C4, but I find it to be a very good platform to work with. It's like, to me, this would be like for Chevy, the equivalent of a Mustang, because they work good. You can make them light real easy, and pretty fast. It could be fast. So I think a C4 is a good platform to use for racing. This one we put a 4.9 inch. That's the only problem with them. From the factory is the IRS suspension, but I put the 4.9 inch in it, or the 4-link, so we don't have any issues with rear suspension. Car works pretty good. And also, another thing that I'm impressed about this car is the front suspension is bone stock, never been touched. So it has a leaf spring. It doesn't use a coil spring or nothing like that. It uses leaf spring, fiberglass leaf spring that goes from side to side, and that's in there. That's stock. Stock shocks look like the shocks from when the car was brand new. Bilstein, I think they call them Bilstein shocks. Like they probably been in there since the car was new. We never changed them. And the car worked. The car 60-foot with the bone stock suspension. I never touched the front end because we've been running this car. And I think the best we have gotten was I think we got 132, and was still working with the suspension in the rear. Looking to go a little faster with the 60-foot, but this is the front end, and it's bone stock, never been touched. So I'm very impressed about that. Like I say, I like the C4. Seems to be a really good platform to use for drag racing. Once you get past that the IRS suspension, you're good to go. So what I'm gonna be doing today, I think, is going to take the frame, I think you call it what do we call it? The K member. I'm gonna drop that out because I have to move that rack and pinion for the big block. Okay, you don't have much room for the balancer and the pulley accessories right here. You don't have much room, so that was the reason to mark it up. It's kind of close. I think the big block is maybe an inch or two towards the front over the small block. So I'm gonna have to move the rack forward maybe 1.5 to 2 inches forward. So I'm gonna have to cut the brackets, relocate it, and move the rack a little bit forward so we have room for the accessory drive. It's gonna have alternator and vacuum pump on it. So I have to make sure we can clear all that stuff. So, but that's gonna be done after this race. this no prep race, then I'll jump back on it. I kind of left this alone for a while. Been focused on the Malibu, and I already made a video on the Malibu. I'll have to post that. And yeah, so this is a C4 in the dungeon in Kingston, Jamaica. Hopefully they have her back on the road, back on the track, and by September. We're in May, going into June, and hopefully by September. The motor's being built right now, but it's gonna, take a while to get it shipped here on the island. And once it's shipped, I want to make sure the car's ready to go, so I can just drop the motor in, put everything back together, and go testing. So yeah, fam. Thank everybody for watching. Thank everybody for subscribing. I appreciate it. Trying to do better videos, better quality. I'm an amateur. Probably know that already. I'm just trying to improve on our YouTube channel this year. And just ask everybody to bear with me with these poor quality videos. But I will be trying to improve. And just inviting everybody to enjoy the journey. Join and enjoy the journey. I appreciate it. Thank you.